Alrighty, let's get into it. We're waiting on Ruben. Ruben had some technical difficulties, but for right now, just go ahead and go live for now, and I'll send him a little. I'll send him an invite right now. How about that? I will send him an invite. But without further ado, guys, we are live. I'm excited. This Texans fan base seems a bit excited as well. And I think there's a lot to be excited about considering what we know right now with the Houston Texans is the breaking news of Nick Caley being the offensive coordinator. Fun news, fun conversations, and let's get into it, man. Nick Caley, the offensive coordinator now for your Houston Texans, formerly with the Los Angeles Rams, formerly with the New England Patriots. He's bounced around quite some time, but the majority of his career, he has been a New England Patriot. Again, we'll get Ruben in here in just a minute, but appreciate some of y'all hopping in here right now. We had some technical difficulties on Ruben's side, so we'll see what happens. I sent him a little invite. I know he said he was restarting his little shit. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But we got Nick Caley stuff to talk about. And obviously, we're going to get into Cooper Kupp as well. We had some breaking news a while ago coming from Cooper Kupp himself, his Twitter account, talking about, going to have to request a trade. And the Rams are going to be trading Cooper Kupp. Myles Garrett is also requesting a trade. The NFL offseason, ladies and gentlemen, is it's getting spicy. We got some guys that are requesting trades, so I'm excited to get into this, man. I'm excited to see what happens. So y'all let me know. Y'all got any questions for me? I'll be happy to answer them. We'll get into the Cooper Kupp stuff in just a little bit because we have a hell of a thread that Texans Cap has posted. And if anybody knows Texans Cap, definitely a must follow for any Texan fan, even if an NFL fan. The guy's just on top of all his P's and Q's when it comes to anything Cap related. So we'll get into that thread in just a moment. Nick Caley, though, is the one that we need to talk about. Nick Caley is now your new offensive coordinator, ladies and gentlemen, the former tight ends coach and passing game coordinator. He was promoted to pass game coordinator last year when Zach Robinson left the LA Rams, and Nick Caley, for staying with the Rams, got promoted. Unlike the New England Patriots, the New England Patriots had that man at tight end coach, fullback coach, tight end coach for the majority of his time there. And then when he had an opportunity to get promoted, and everybody pretty much thought within the organization that he would get promoted to offensive coordinator when Josh McDaniels left, did not happen. That's the year Bill Belichick decided, I'm going to be smart. I'm going to be a fucking idiot. And I'm going to have Matt Patricia and Joe Judge be offensive coordinators. Joe Judge is a longtime special teams coach. Matt Patricia, as we know, is a defensive guy. Obviously, did not work out. I don't know if y'all remember that, but there was a lot of hate, a lot of discourse around the decision of not having an offensive coordinator that year, and having defensive guys run the offensive side of things. So that really hurt Mac Jones for sure. It would hurt any quarterback in that situation. And unfortunately, Bill Belichick put a young quarterback in that very situation. Nick Caley ends up leaving the following year, goes to the LA Rams, and then he stays there for about 2 years. In that 2-year span is what you're hoping that Nick Caley has taken some consideration and taken some thoughts and taken his notes from Sean McVay. Sean McVay is, the guy that if you want successful offense, if you want anything that is a successful offense, a lot of people are going to look at Sean McVay. A lot of people are going to look at what has happened from him. He has multiple branches on that tree that have been successful in this NFL. So, man, very exciting news, very exciting stuff. The Houston Texans hiring Nick Caley, man. I'll tell you, I had the video posted. Had a video posted. I had it ready. I was about to hit public. I've spent some good time making that video too. Fancy thumbnail and everything. Like I spent some good hard time making that video. And I was about to put it public. The title of the video is Who Would I Want for Offensive Coordinator for Our Houston Texans? 1:55 is when I finished it. I was like, bet I'm going to post it at 2 p.m. 1:58 came by, and I had to throw it on unlisted because, ladies and gentlemen, the Houston Texans hired Nick Caley at that time. And I was like, well, fuck me. Fuck that video. Let's go ahead and just do some fucking Nick Caley breaking news shit now. And so here we go. Nick Caley, the guy for the Houston Texans. Everyone's been talking about him. Lots of good quotes from him, from former coaches of his and stuff, and now former coaches talking about how great of a man he is, talking about that he could be a really, really good coach someday in this league. And one of the best quotes we heard was, when you get done having a conversation with Nick Caley, it's like you were talking to Sean McVay. That's a pretty good compliment right there, man. There's a very good compliment. Enunciation is key on this channel. John Crumpler was on my live stream just, I want to say, last week or a week and a half ago. And he was extremely high on Nick Caley. He has been on him since the jump. Like, hey, this is the guy I want the Houston Texans to get. I'm talking about Nick Caley, who layered offense, viable run game, like pass protection schemes. He's a tight ends coach that obviously is going to know pass protection schemes because the tight ends have to block. So that's going to help your offensive line as well. Like, there's a lot of good stuff coming here from Nick Caley. And ultimately, you know, we're blowing up a lot of smoke, obviously, because we hired him. But I think this is a good hire. I'm going to stand on it. I think this is a good hire for the Houston Texans. And I think hopefully this leads you to a really successful 2025 year. I really do. I'm hoping for that to be the case. But Nick Caley, him and Nick Caserio, as we know, have a connection. They were both graduates of John Carroll University. And that's why I think there's, going to be another guy from John Carroll University joining this staff at some point. His name is Jerry Shuplinski. Jerry Shuplinski is a senior offensive assistant, at the moment. He's 47 years old. Let me get into that real quick. He also graduated from John Carroll University. He's also from Ohio, which Nick Caley is from Ohio as well. And he's been with the New England Patriots before for, let's see, 5-6 years with the New England Patriots is Jerry Shuplinski. He's a senior offensive assistant. He worked there as a special teams coordinator, linebackers coach, then turned over to the offensive. Oh, no, that was in college. Offensive assistant with the Patriots, assistant quarterbacks coach with the Patriots. So there you go. There's 2 times right there. He's got a connection with Nick Caley immediately. He was with the Rams this year as a senior offensive assistant. So I could see Nick Caley bringing him over onto this staff, some sort of fashion, trying to get Shuplinski over here. So, I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what can happen. I'm excited about who else can he bring. I know a lot of people were getting into Zach Cromer. Zach Cromer is currently the assistant offensive lines coach for the LA Rams. His dad was Aaron Cromer. Aaron Cromer is a very successful offensive lines coach, I believe, for the New Orleans Saints. I could be wrong about that. But I'm excited about this hire. I really am. Diablo's in here. I want to cut, but I don't think we have the money for it. Rams want to trade him. We're going to get into that in just a moment. We're going to get into it. We have a thread from Texans Cap that we'll definitely share the screen for. Go Texans. Will it the Shanahan offense or the Patriots offense? It's going to be more of the same. It's going to be the Shanahan offense. And, I know a lot of people are going, oh, man, but we just had the Shanahan offense. But, no. Sean McVay is a disciple of the Shanahan offense. But at the end of the day, his offense has so many modifications and so many adaptations from that original scheme. Like, That's just the base. Ooh, big old burp. That is just the base root of the offense. But Sean McVay has added so many modifications to it that it is also now his offense. So when you get into Nick Caley, and there's other people around him, like Zach Taylor came from Sean McVay, another guy that's another Shanahan system, but it's completely different. Nick Caley is going to grab what he learned from Sean McVay and knows that Shanahan offense, incorporate both, and then he's going to sprinkle in whatever he knows, whatever he sees fit for the opportunity to get CJ Stroud and this Houston Texans team on the right track offensively. And that's the best case scenario for this team. I think the biggest thing we've overlooked is that Nick Caley has interviewed twice for this position in the past 3 years, specifically with only the Houston Texans. He interviewed before we hired Bobby. Like Nick Caley interviewed here 2 years ago in 2023 when we got D'Amico Ryans and everybody. Like he knew the team already. He knows the guys. Like he knows what it is here. So not shocking at all that Nick Caley is the hire. With Shavi's a lot of local media members, man. Seemed like none of them really had a pulse on this. Like a lot of them were saying Gerard Johnson, which I kind of just ended up believing that Gerard Johnson was going to end up being a promotional hire. Just wasn't the case. And then we got Nick Caley as OC. We had some others maybe saying Brian Johnson as a dark horse. The combination of Bill Lazor and Gerard Johnson. Ultimately, the Houston Texans landed on Nick Caley. I think this is a great hire for them. I'm ecstatic. I'm really, really excited about what CJ Stroud could be doing. Because, man, there's going to be a lot of motioning. There's going to be a lot of pre-snap motioning. We're going to get an opportunity to see how smart CJ is. We've noticed it. We've noticed, clips from him his rookie year during the offseason specifically. There's clips of him breaking down games. Like there's the one that just blew up last year. I believe it was the game against the Buccaneers. I could be wrong. Or I think it was the Cardinal game, actually. And CJ Stroud just breaks down the film by just specifically breaking it down, talking piece by piece by piece, exactly what's going to happen, exactly what's going to do. And that's enlightening to think about because CJ Stroud, I believe, with Nick Caley is going to have a lot more say and a lot more free range about what's going on with them and what's going on with the offense and what's going on, with Nick Caley and the rest of the guys. A lot of pre-snap motion, all that good jazz. Jay, I appreciate you, man. I always, no one want to talk about the Texans right now. The Rockets are on. Then why are you watching me, bud? It's a simple question. If the Rockets are on, then watch the Rockets. Obviously, I got the Rocket game on. Obviously, I know Alperen Şengün's not playing, and I know Alperen Şengün's not playing. I know they're playing the New York Knicks, but hey, if you don't want to hear me talk about the Texans, then don't watch. Watch the fucking Rocket game. You're the one complaining that the Rockets are on. Go watch the fucking Rockets game, buddy. God, come on, man. Well, let's have a little common sense before we comment. All right, let's have a little common sense, man. I mean, and I love my Rockets. I love them to death. Hey, man, I'm a big time Rocket fan. I love them, but come on, man. Come on. If you want to watch the Rockets, you tired of me talking about Texans and you want to hear me talk Rockets, I have no problem with it. But right now, we're talking Texans. Texans are the news right now. They hired Nick Caley, and then you got some news around Cooper Kupp being traded that, hey, we don't know what's going to happen there. But definitely, I got Diablo laughing over here. Appreciate you, Texan Tangents, coming in. I'm here, bro. Go Texans. Look, I love my Texans. I love my Rockets. I love my Astros. I'm a Houston sports guy at the end of the day. Going to be a lot more Astros and Rockets content going on later. But we'll get there when we get there. Ultimately, we're here to talk Houston Texans football right now. Appreciate you, Jay. We're here to talk some Texans football right now. And shout out to Amin Thompson and the Rockets. They're fucking – Amin Thompson is – is it a big three there? Is it a big three there? Like, I think that's a conversation. Amin Thompson, Jalen Green, and Alperen Şengün definitely looks like a big three. Amin Thompson looks like what he could be ended up being the best player in basketball. I mean, that Amin Thompson's absolutely amazing. But, we're going to get back into the Texans, man. All right, we got some questions about Cooper Cup. I definitely see them. I'm gonna answer it. I'm gonna answer it with someone else answering it, and we're gonna have Texans Cap answering it. And I know a lot of y'all know Texans Cap. I know a lot of y'all follow him. But Texans Cap is here, not live, but he is gave us a very nice thread on Cooper Cup, and so we got put that down. We got a nice thread here from Texans Cap talking about Cooper Cup. And there's the Captain America gif right there. But so you want your team to trade for Cooper Cup. And we're gonna read this post by post. You got Texans Cap, good man. Met him at the Tejas watch party. Appreciate all of y'all that made it to the Tejas Brewery watch party too, by the way. So it's gonna be a tough one, guys. I'm not trying to burst the bubble here, but I just don't think it's gonna be leaning into the positivity here on this thread. But let's get into it. Texans Cap. Cooper Cup has 2 years remaining on his contract. About $40 million or $5 million guaranteed. Cup has a $7.5 million roster bonus due on March 15. $5 million of Cups. Why do I keep saying Cups? $12.5 million. Base salary is fully guaranteed. So Cup also has $5 million roster bonus due on the 3rd of 2026. New league year, non-guaranteed, 14 and 8.85. I can't read today. Million base salary. Without any contract adjustments, the Cup is traded prior between March 12 and March 15, acquiring team cap charges. $20 million in 2025, another $20 million in 2026 to facilitate a trade. And this is what y'all are asking me about. LA could absorb some cash prior to the trade to lessen the burden of an acquiring team. Les Snead is a savvy GM with contract ideas in this area. Now, as we all know, the LA Rams have many times have said, fuck the picks, fuck all that. Like, we're here to get players. We're here to, and they have manufactured it and they've made it work. They've worked around that salary cap many, many times. So Les Snead knows what he's doing here. So for my Houston Texans fans, as the team sits, there is not enough cap space to facilitate a trade with an unadjusted contract. Houston would need to complete basic restructures of 2 contracts between the options of Nick Caserio. I wish. Hey, man, he wants to take less money. I have no problem. He's been doing a pretty good job. Nico Collins, Daniel Hunter, or Laramie Tunsil. So you need 2 out of those 3 guys to restructure a deal. In theory, presumably Houston, Nick Caserio, would have a reworked contract pre-negotiated with Cup and LA that would be signed after the trade is complete. A new properly structured contract would create new cap space for 2025 to offset the initial cap charge from the trade. What kind of contract Cup would receive in a reworked scenario is a whole different topic, as I do not believe Houston or any team would take on Cup's contract, and I leave it alone in terms of overall paper value. The end. So it's very interesting. You got this one comment right here. Would much prefer a Diggs return. That should still be an option if Cup is not in play for Houston. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. You got it right there from the guy that knows his shit. Now, Texans Cap knows his shit. So that is the guy that you want giving you the news, whether or not the Texans can get Cooper Cup or not. It's right there. Texans Cap's the one to do it. So let's see. I got people commenting here right now. I'm excited about Caley especially coming from McVay. The Rams OF offense is exciting. See, I got to specify that OF, man. I see that OF. I think OnlyFans. I'm sorry. This is what we've came to, America. I see that OF. I think in OnlyFans. It is what it is. There. Can we give Mitch and a 6th round? Mitch, can we give Mitch Mechie? I'm gonna assume he means Mechie in a 6th round pick. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen, boys. That's not gonna happen right there. Remind people about reality. Yeah, for sure. Tunsil and Nico, if you're gonna move, if you're gonna not move, but if you're gonna restructure 2 out of those 3 guys, where is it? Or is it Nico Collins, Daniel Hunter, or Laramie Tunsil? I mean, and I don't know how much I believe that, but that came from ML football. ML football is a horrible Twitter account, by the way. But you know, got to talk about it. He mentioned that Daniel Hunter could be in line for a contract extension from the Houston Texans. Again, I would take that with a grain of salt because it's ML football, and that guy is just a clickbaiter and a dumbass. Just nowhere else to throw that out there. So I think the Diggs move because you can move around the cap. And then we got Casey here. Shout out to Casey. Think McDaniels keeps his job or not? Total house clean from a coach's standpoint. McDaniels. What do you mean by McDaniels? Think McDaniels keeps his job or not? McDaniels? Yeah, there's many guys with McDaniels. You talking about Ben McDaniels? Is that who you're talking about? The Houston Texans currently have Ben McDaniels. Who knows? He has a Patriots connection, and I believe him and Nick Caley spent time together at some. I know he knows his brother, Josh McDaniels. Let's see here. Okay, yes, Ben McDaniels. Let's see right now. Let's take a look right here. Let's take a look. Wide receivers coach, passing game coordinator, obviously. Never been with the New England Patriots. But he's worked with Josh McDaniels, and Josh McDaniels has obviously got a very, you know what? Here he is right there. Ben McDaniels also born. What is up with these guys? What is up with the Patriots, man? I mean, what is up with all these guys being fucking born in Ohio? Ben McDaniels born in Ohio. Barberton, Ohio. Jesus Christ. Pissed me off. I'm not going to lie. Why are we getting all these guys from Ohio? Is there something in the water over there? We need to get Figgy Fig on here. We got all these guys from Ohio. I mean, what is going on? Regardless, get back on task. Ben McDaniels, I'm not sure, man. I'm really not sure. Considering Nick Caley has a connection to Jerry Shuplinski. Jerry Shuplinski has been a quarterback's coach, an assistant quarterback's coach, for the Patriots, now with the Rams. Ooh, big old burp. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot when it comes to that offensive staff now, because you don't know what's going to happen with Gerard Johnson. You don't know what's going to happen with Ben McDaniels, like Casey's talking about. You don't know what's going to happen to Bill Lazor. I mean, Bill Lazor's still on staff. You know, a lot of these guys are still on staff. I mean, the biggest rumor is, you know, who do you think Caley bringing for the offensive staff? Any idea? So I mentioned Jerry Shuplinski. Jerry Shuplinski is an assistant quarterbacks coach. He was with Nick Caley in New England during that time there. He's currently with the Rams right now as a senior offensive assistant. He's 47 years old. I'd have to deep dive more into Nick Caley in order to find out whether or not anybody else is going to be grabbed into, Ohio South. Anybody else is going to be grabbed onto this staff for Nick Caley. But I mean, it's very, very interesting. Seriously, why are all these guys from fucking Ohio? What is in the water there? What is going on? It's very interesting. Again, I got the screen share right now from Texans Caps thread. If anybody's interested about Cooper Kupp, that's the guy to talk to. That's the guy to get into right there. Hey, man, he, for the most part, answers his DM. So if you want to just direct message him a question, I'm not saying bug the shit out of him, but go ahead. You know what? I'm good friends with him. Bug the fuck out of Troy. Bug the fuck out of Texans Cap. Bug him. Make him block you. But yeah, in terms of the offensive staff, definitely Nick Caley, who, I mean, what is up with the Ohio people? Canton, Ohio, Nick Caley. What's really interesting is Ben McDaniels shares the same. Ben McDaniels went to the same high school. He was a coach at the same high school, Canton McKinley, Ohio. In Canton, McKinley, I would assume Canton, Ohio. Nick Caley is from Canton, Ohio. I definitely would assume that a lot of these guys are going to stay. And that's what we've been told from a lot of the local media guys. Like, a lot of the staff is still going to be the same. You know, now we don't know what happens with Gerard Johnson. I know Jonathan Alexander in Friday's article had talked about that Gerard Johnson could still stay on staff, you know, so we're talking about D'Amico hiring an offense coordinator, Nick Caley, And the implied assumption was, okay, you're the offensive coordinator. Maybe you also, hey, you're the OC, but you got to keep Gerard Johnson. That is something Jonathan Alexander had implied in his article on Friday. Maybe that happens. I'm not quite sure, but Gerard Johnson, we don't know. He's up in the air for quarterbacks coach. Don't know what's going to happen there. Ben McDaniels, I know, good name, currently the wide receiver guy and stuff, but we don't know what's going to happen with that either. Brother Josh McDaniels, definitely a connection there with Nick Caley and Josh McDaniels. Definitely a connection there between Nick Caserio and Ben McDaniels. But hey, end of the day, brand new guy. He usually brings in his own dudes. I mean, I don't know what else to do there. Who else we got? Bill Lazor. Bill Lazor, senior offensive assistant. But yeah, there's another guy that's a senior offensive assistant currently with the LA Rams named Jerry Shaplinski, who has a better connection to Nick Caley. Would think that there's something going on there. So I don't know who else would be joining this staff. I really don't. I don't know. I would love to see maybe some of them guys that they took a look at in terms of the offensive coordinator process. Like if Dad Lewis is interested, would not mind bringing him over onto the staff. I would love, something across the offensive line because as far as we know, and according to Aaron Wilson, and I believe it was Jonathan Alexander, I could be wrong about that, and I shouldn't have said his name if it's wrong, but I know Aaron Wilson for sure mentioned that Cole Popovich is going to be staying as the offensive lines coach. He has been saying this from the get-go, like from the beginning. Cole Popovich did not get fired, apparently. His contract expired. So the Houston Texans look like they're going to be making an internal promotion of Cole Popovich and making him the offensive lines coach. He was always the assistant O-lines coach with the New England Patriots, has a connection with Nick Caley, has a connection with Nick Caserio. So, I think Cole Popovich at the end of the day might grab that offensive lines coach job, but there's still some guys that I would not mind. I think one of them is right here. Casey's all over it. I would like the Green Bay guy on staff, and I would too. Adam Stenavich, who, I'll have to look him up again to see his history. But Adam Stenavich is a guy that I would not mind. He's a former Houston Texan. Now, he was on the practice squad, all right? But obviously, you're looking at a guy that's currently the offensive coordinator for the Green Bay Packers. Why would he take a demotion of any kind? Well, why would Matt LaFleur let him be open to looking at other teams' offensive coordinator positions? It kind of feels like Stenavich might be on his way out of Green Bay. I don't know what's entirely going on over there. But you're looking at a guy that was a former Houston Texan, granted on the practice squad, knows DeMeco Ryans during his time on the practice squad because he was there from 2008 to 2010. So knows DeMeco Ryans, San Francisco 49ers from 2017 to 2018. Hey, that time you're working with DeMeco, knows DeMeco in some sort of fashion. There's definitely a connection there. So we got that already. He was a Michigan graduate, and he was there from 2011 to 2013. Ben McDaniels was with Michigan from 2019, 2018. Maybe not so much of a connection right there. But I do like the idea of bringing in Adam Stenavich to be your offensive lines coach. I really would love that. I don't think he takes a demotion, though. I think either he's looking to be an offensive coordinator and actually have play calling duties, unlike Green Bay, unless he just has a really, really good connection with DeMeco Ryans. I don't see him taking a demotion. If we keep Johnson, that would be A+. I don't mind Gerard Johnson. I've never minded Gerard Johnson. He's a quarterback's coach. He knows CJ from the get-go. He knows him since Rancho Cucamonga High School. Helped him throughout his early life in his career, going to be a NFL quarterback. So Gerard Johnson knows him very, very well. A lot of the blame can be thrown on Bobby, but there's some blame that has to be thrown towards Gerard Johnson from the performance we saw of CJ Stroud this year. So, who knows? It is what it is. Who knows how much, problems is going to happen because Gerard Johnson interviewed to be the offensive coordinator. Now, as any human being, if you interviewed for a job to get a promotion and the company looked elsewhere and they said, yeah, well, we'll still keep you, you would kind of feel a certain way that you didn't get that job. Maybe that's just a human element, right? I mean, I would be a little like, man, do I really want to stay here? I mean, I didn't get the job, and I'm keeping my current job, and they got somebody else, and I gotta listen to him. I just interviewed for that job, and they didn't get me. So I could see a little. Maybe Gerard Johnson goes elsewhere. Who knows? But Nick Caley is going to bring in a few guys that he knows. So I'm excited to see who that could be specifically. We need a new running backs coach. Sure. I believe Danny. Is it still Danny Barrett? My goodness, is it still Danny Barrett? Is that old man? I think it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Damn it. Decent. He's assistant head coach and running backs coach. I don't know, man. Danny Barrett, I mean, he's respected. Yeah, I mean, Danny Barrett's a respected guy. Danny Barrett's been the running backs coach since 2018. So yeah, Danny Barrett's a respected guy. It feels like I don't see him moving anywhere. Nah, don't see it. Hopefully we use our tight end more now that Caley was a tight end coach, drafted Roy or Loveland. I think that's his name. I think that's his name. Okay, I was saying it right. Whatever. Loveland, I know a little bit more about than Arroyo. I haven't really dug deep into the draft process quite yet. But Nick Caley, tight ends coach. Tyler Higbee, about top 12 tight end in the NFL, at the very least top 15. He produces well. He's very, very good at what he does. Just a solid tight end. Nothing crazy, nothing flashy, but very solid tight end. You look at the offensive line for the LA Rams, they have not very much invested anything in terms of high draft picks for the offensive line. They've continued to just stray the course of, oh, okay, we'll just push this guy here and put this guy here, and then we'll keep it going. And they have a decent offensive line. As long as I get an average all line, that's all I need. You get an average all line to CJ Stroud, good things going to happen. We already know what's going to happen. We're going to see some duplication, some replication of his rookie year because, man, he had a hell of a rookie year. There was nothing wrong with that. I loved it. So, at the end of the day, tight ends coach, yes, he did coach. He did coach Gronk in New England. And that's a tough one for me because I'm like, Gronk was just a specimen. Like, I mean, Gronk was different. Like, Gronk was that dude. Like, I don't really know how much Nick Caley helped Rob Gronkowski now. Nick Caley was at Florida Atlantic in 2014. So, he did recruit Aziz Al-Shaair to Florida Atlantic, if that takes anybody, piques anyone's interest right there. So there's a little connection immediately right there. But I do believe, considering he's a tight ends coach, he's going to get a lot out of this tight ends group. I think they benefit the most from this hire. And we all saw Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan was ecstatic about this move, considering he had the little emojis, the sunglass emoji, and a little happy face. He's pretty happy. He's pretty stoked about this move. Brevin Jordan, absolute dog when he's healthy. I think he plays very good with CJ Stroud and company. I thought he was going to have himself a really good year this year, but him, Stover, and I won't count Schultz out just because I don't think they're going to do nothing with him. I believe he's still going to be on this team. And then there's Casey again talking about Dalton Schultz. Perfect timing. Schultz is just fucking lazy at blocking. Like, he just sucks at blocking. Like, he's just lazy at it. Like, he has no willingness to go out there and block. But if you can get anything from Dalton Schultz that was CJ Stroud's rookie year, that Dalton Schultz that year wasn't so bad. It was pretty good, and we all thought that there was a growing connection between Stroud and Schultz, considering the Atlanta Falcons game where you had a little backyard football play from CJ Stroud, and he just told Schultz, hey, you're going to do a little flag route, and I'm going to give it to you. And Schultz said, hey, no problem, I got you. And then Schultz knew to do the flag route just a bit shorter, considering the safety that was right there at the goal line, does the route shorter. Stroud hits him right in stride. They scored a touchdown in the Falcons game. They ended up losing the game, obviously, but damn it, that right there was something you want to see more of from Stroud and Schultz. And you thought that connection might grow into year two. It just didn't quite happen. Now, obviously, there's numerous problems considering the offensive line sucked. Dalton Schultz sucked. CJ Stroud did not look good. I won't say he sucked, but he did not look good at all this previous year. The whole entire offense didn't look good. So it is what it is there. But I am hoping that Dalton Schultz can play better. And again, if anybody's joined, this is the Texans Caps thread right here of Cooper Kupp. Whether or not the Houston Texans have the ability to trade for Cooper Kupp, we won't know. But I'll tell you this. If you're going to find out, it's going to be from this guy right here. So make sure you are following Texans Cap. Does a hell of a good job talking about the salary cap for the Texans. Pretty much. Yeah, I mean, pretty much right there. So the one that's very interesting, Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's interesting. I don't know. I don't think I don't think it happens. I know it won't happen. You got Daniel Hunter and Will Anderson, and yeah, that'd be fun to think about a Myles Garrett here in Houston, and opposite of Will Anderson, and maybe you trade Daniel Hunter over to the Cleveland Browns and maybe a third-round pick, and maybe 2 third-round picks, and Daniel Hunter for Myles Garrett. That'd be fun, right? This is the land of hypotheticals. We are in the off season where we just talk. The off season is just where you talk. You throw shit against the wall and you hope to see something that sticks, and obviously that's not going to stick. Obviously, we're not going to get Myles Garrett, but damn it, it would be very fun to see that man come to Houston and terrorize opposing teams for whatever left of his career he has. I would love to see him and Will Anderson, who, by the way, him and Will Anderson were working in the offseason last year. I have that video on my YouTube channel from a short a while ago. Y'all have to dig deep if y'all want to find that video. But yeah, Myles Garrett did work with Will Anderson in the offseason. Who knows? Maybe something happens. Would not mind it, but don't count on it. Don't bet on it for sure. Nick Caley, the latest news for the Houston Texans. I'm excited about this, man. I'm excited about this move. I'm excited about what CJ can become under Nick Caley. Very, very excited. I'm excited about what CJ can learn and maybe ultimately unlocking a different area of CJ Stroud's game that we don't really know of yet. And I think that area that you're going to be unlocking is his potential as a signal caller, because there's so much pre-snap motioning. There's so much stuff that CJ Stroud is going to be burdened with now. There's a lot more responsibility that he could be sharing, considering you have a Rams guy and Nick Caley in their system with LA. Like, now CJ Stroud's going to carry a lot more responsibility, assumingly, with Nick Caley at the offense coordinator position. We could possibly see CJ Stroud unlock a new side of him that we just haven't seen too much of, if any. I mean, we saw a snippet of it. Again, I mentioned, I believe it was the Arizona Cardinals game, that he had broke down with him throwing the touchdown pass, and he broke it down just piece by piece so eloquently. And you saw that CJ Stroud is smart. There we go. CJ Stroud is smart. Like, this dude knows ball. This dude knows what he's talking about. So, hey, I'm comfortable with him doing his thing and trying to figure it out. Let's see if Ruben got anything. Nope, nothing. Ruben never did get anything. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. We're about 100 people deep in here. I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I'm just here to do a little live show, have a little fun. I'd rather keep Hunter, to be honest. Hunter's from Houston. I think Gary's too much. Gary better, though. I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Here's a hypothetical: Nico Kupp and Diggs, or Nico T and Diggs. Super hypothetical, I know, haha, but like you said, it's the off season. Hey, it's off season, man. We just talking shit, right? We just throwing some shit up in the air and see what happens, Nico Kupp and Diggs. Not gonna happen. It's either Cooper Kupp, Stephon Diggs. It's to me, like, if there's going to be an option, I just don't see T. Higgins happening at all. T. Higgins is going to command some money. And you got Nico Collins. The Houston Texans do have to move into this offseason like they're not going to have Tank Dell for the upcoming season, considering his injury and how serious it was. But yeah, I don't see any of those happening. I do see maybe Stephon Diggs returns. I don't mind Cooper Kupp, but again, you wouldn't have Stephon Diggs. Who do you prefer? You prefer Cooper Kupp? You prefer Stephon Diggs? I don't know, man. Y'all let me know down in the comment section here. But again, this is Texans Cap talking about the Cooper Kupp trade. And if it could happen, this is the guy you would learn it from right here. If you want to see it more clearly, go to Texans Cap, follow him on Twitter, put them both notifications on, man. Very good guy, smart individual. He even answers his DMs every once in a while. So hit him up a DM if y'all got a question about anything Cap related. He's the guy to get it to. So ultimately, Nick Caley, I think another thing we need to get into is that this is the same philosophy at the end of the day. Like, this is continuity at its finest. CJ Stroud had mentioned that in his, the press conference talking about Bobby Slowick, there was one thing, snippet actually, that he mentioned was he doesn't understand how quarterbacks can go through coordinator to coordinator. Like, he'd really love to have continuity. And that is something that Nick Caley brings for the Houston Texans, for CJ Stroud, is continuity. Yes, Nick Caley comes from Sean McVay, but again, Shanahan tree, Shanahan system, like the base of this is going to be the Shanahan Kubiak system, and ultimately some adaptations and some changes and some, a little erasing and put something else in pin and see what Nick Caley can tinker with. But that all is at the end of the day going to be the same system for CJ Stroud and company. I expect some good things, man. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about what could happen. Do you think Caley will bring a player from the Rams? Maybe it's Cooper Kupp. Maybe it's maybe we're getting Aaron Donald out of retirement. Maybe you know what? Maybe we're getting okay. Actually, so let me answer this in all seriousness. Tutu Atwell is a free agent, and Tutu Atwell is only 24. I want to say I'm just going off the top of my head here, but Tutu Atwell would be somebody that I think the Houston Texans might actually take a more serious approach at, considering Atwell is a former LA Ram. I thought that he could have deserved a few more opportunities, but unfortunately, some guy named Puka Nacua was really fucking good, and Cooper Kupp was also really fucking good. I think Tutu Atwell is somebody that is cheap for you. Maybe you pay just a little bit extra if you really want him that bad. But that's a good idea, to be honest. Bringing in a Tutu Atwell is not a bad idea whatsoever. Former Ram, Nick Caley, that connection right there immediately. Hey, hello, how you doing? Okay, cool. Tutu Atwell, but what else can you do? Like, what else can you bring for me? The wide receiver group needs a lot more than just Tutu Atwell and maybe Stephon Diggs. Like, I still need something else, whether that's through the draft, who knows? I know a lot of people have talked about John Beck, wide receiver from TCU. Cole Thompson has talked about him to ad nauseum. Somebody that he continues to say, keep John Beck in mind, Texans fans, because of the hiring of Nick Caley. He continues to harp on John Beck's name. The guy that really threw his attention, John Beck's name's attention to me, was Cody Johnson. Cody does a great job. I gotta sneeze. Whew, there we go. Diablo says Robinson. What is his name? Robeson? Are you talking about Allen Robinson? I don't want that. That's a piece of shit. I don't know who Robeson is. I'm blanking. The only one I think of is Allen Robinson. I do not want that at all. Do not want that. Houston Texans hired Nick Caley. Nick Caley is the offensive coordinator. DeMarcus Robinson. Okay. My bad. I was thinking Allen. DeMarcus Robinson. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is he a free agent? I have to take a look at that. I know Tutu Atwell was for sure. I'm not sure if DeMarcus Robinson was a free agent or not. But DeMarcus Robinson, I mean, talk about an electric wide receiver. The Chiefs absolutely used him fantastically. Something maybe Nick Caley could utilize. Like, man, it sucks that you're not going to have Tank Dell, but man, I would really love to run back the wide receiver group with Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell. and see what Nick Caley could have done with these three guys, because I thought Bobby Slowick dropped the ball in his misutilization of Tank Dell at the beginning of the season. I just don't think he used Tank Dell enough. I don't even know if he knew how to use those three wide receivers well enough. But Demarcus Robinson's not a bad idea, an explosive wide receiver. It's going to have some issues catching the football, but ultimately you get a guy that once the football's in his hands, electric, right? You're looking at bubble screens to him immediately, like some quick passes to him immediately. We want to see the ball get out of CJ Stroud's hands as fast as possible. And I think Nick Caley can do that. I think that's what he can ultimately transcend here into CJ Stroud's game. It's not only the pre-snap motion, the play caller aspect, but also getting the ball faster out of his hand. That's exactly what we want to do. He played some plays. I think we need to move Tank, hard to say, but true. I'm not going to move on from Tank. Not at all. Not at all. Especially because he has not even taken one snap with Nick Caley. I want to see what Nick Caley could do with Tank Dell. Not sure we get to even see that this year. Maybe we do. Maybe if he comes back in December. Who knows? Maybe that's the timetable. Maybe he comes back in December, January, right in the last game of the season. But considering how the Texans do their injuries, I wouldn't expect that. You know how they do. They had Nico Collins. You cannot lie to me. Nico Collins was ready for that Detroit Lions game. Nobody could tell me otherwise. And they did not play him. They ended up losing that game. And yes, they had 5 turnovers, and I'm still fucking pissed about that fucking game. God damn it. Anyway, I appreciate everybody harping in, man. We got about 80 people deep, so I'll let y'all know because we're losing some people right now. Amon Thompson is just an absolute dude. Amon Thompson is just an absolute dude. Amon Thompson is just that dude. Good Lord. If anybody was watching that Rockets game, probably Jay from earlier. I mean, he just snatched someone's ankles right now. Amon Thompson is just an absolute dude. My goodness. Amon Thompson, dude. That's crazy. Amon Thompson's absolutely nuts. But regardless, we got a good amount of people here. I'm going to be having somebody from the Rams come over to this channel. Not right now, but in the coming weeks. So make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit the bell for the noties to turn on. I will be having somebody from the LA Rams come over and talk some Nick Caley with me. Get some more in-depth. Someone that is in there. They know they shit. Like, they know what they talking about. I'm hoping to get Jake Ellenbogen. Anybody knows Jake Ellenbogen? I'm hoping that's who I can get. But I appreciate all the well wishes, man. Thank you, Casey Diablo. Y'all were constantly in this chat, just harping it up. I love it. I love anybody commenting down here. Appreciate all of y'all, man. So yeah, again, the screen, Cooper Kupp trade thread, Texans cap showing whether or not we could trade for Cooper Kupp. I would say it's probably not going to happen, but hey, man, we're in the land of the offseason. We are it's time to talk about hypotheticals, man. It's always fun to get into it. And man, my goodness, it's a fun one, right? The Houston Rockets are going toe-to-toe with the New York Knicks. New York Knicks, the same team that's one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Rockets missing some players. Don't matter. Amon Thompson's that dude. Texans, man, I'm excited about this move. I can't wait to see what's going to be in store for them this coming season. I can't wait to see what they do in the offseason, and I'm very interested, and I will be keeping my eyes peeled because I really love getting into positional coaches and who gets hired and whatnot. So make sure y'all are tapped in on this channel. Make sure y'all hit that bell for the notifications to turn on. That way you don't miss anything that I post. Yes, again, I will be having a Rams guy come in after the Super Bowl. So as soon as Super Bowl's over, excuse me, I'm hoping on that Monday after the Super Bowl's over, I can have somebody from the Rams come over and talk a little Nick Caley with me, talk about the offensive concepts, rattle the cages. He might be a Yankee fan. Fuck him. He might be a Laker fan. Fuck him. Can't stand him. Dude, what a crazy trade. Luka Doncic to the Lakers. That was crazy. Anyway, yeah, we'll be having a Rams guy coming over on this channel at some point after the Super Bowl. So again, super appreciative, man. We'll definitely get into anything Nick Caley, again, the newest offensive coordinator for the Houston Texans. Make sure y'all tapping into that Rockets game, man. And then in a few minutes, I'm about to get on out of here. We're going to have H-Town Rundown take over the live stream. So make sure y'all go over to H-Town Rundown with AD and the crew. They're going to be talking about all the latest with Nick Caley. I'm excited to get in it with them. I won't be there. I won't be there because I'm busy. But they're going to do their thing. They're going to hold it down, man. H-Town Rundown going to be holding it down. So go ahead and get over there because they're going to start in just 5 minutes. They're going to start at 8:30. So make sure y'all head over there. Appreciate every single one of y'all. As always, guys, go Astros, go Rockets, go Texans. You have a blessed day. All right, let's get out of here. What's up, everybody? Let's get out of here. Let's end the stream. Ending the stream. We'll put an outro. Not going to end. Okay, no problem. Fun times. And we are ending the stream. Again, super appreciative of every single one of y'all. And there we go.